Hi everybody, my name is Victoria. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I hope you stick around. Today I'm going to be doing the Booktube shoutouts by the numbers tag, which I think is just a really splendid way to just organize this. I really like how Sandy did this. So this was a tag originally by Sandy at I think it's Sandy Reads a Lot. I'm not sure if I got that right. I look at her channel all the time. But sometimes titles and names just leave me. But Sandy, you know Sandy. And I just love how she did this. And I was actually tagged in this by Dia from Novel Idea, who recently shouted me out in this tag. So thank you, Dia, for the tag. And I'm really looking forward to passing on the love. It is February, and although Valentine's Day has passed, it has come and gone. It's still the month of love, right? So we're gonna spread some love. I am drinking some coffee today because I actually did not have my morning coffee today because I was running out the door and it was raining and it was just like a chaotic morning. So I didn't have time to make my little to-go coffee that I do every morning. So I'm gonna catch up and get some caffeine in my system while I make this video. Also, this is my Paris mug that I got in Paris. It's a total like tourist mug. It just has like, what I like about it is it has like facts. It has facts about the different places. And I went to pretty much all of those places, including the bread. Definitely ate bread when I was in Paris. So first we have the 0 to 100 subscriber category. And so I have a few people. I actually had to go looking for new channels because I, off the top of my head, didn't know if I was subscribed to anyone in that current category, and I'm sure I am, but I had a hard time like finding people in certain categories. So I went and just looked for some newer booktubers who maybe have started a booktube newbie tag in the last month or so. So the first person that I'm going to shout out in this category is RachelInPaperback. And what I really liked about Rachel and her intro kind of booktube newbie tag video was that she mentioned that she started a booktube channel in order to get more into reading, and just that she likes to read, but she wanted booktube to kind of give her that like impetus and accountability. And so I feel like I see a lot of people who, like myself included, who join booktube and say, like, the common answer is, I don't know anyone in real life that reads. Like, I read a lot, but I don't have people to talk to about it. And that's also a reason that many of us join. So I thought it was interesting that her reason for joining is to actually get more into reading and make reading more of a habit, which I find just really admirable. So wanted to shout out Rachel and welcome her to the community. Next up, I found Julia.reign. I can tell that Julia is a kindred spirit already. She is a Lord of the Rings fan. She is a Dune fan. She was citing all these like fantasy sci-fi series that I love. And also she has an electric guitar in the background of her video. So you know she's super cool. I wish I could play electric guitar, but I can't. I actually suck at guitar real bad. And so I really look forward to seeing more of Julia's videos. And then the third person I'm going to mention in this category is ellenmadebookclub. And this is Ellen, and she's also getting back into reading after having kind of a break from reading. She's a booktuber from Sweden, which I feel like I don't really know a lot of booktubers from Sweden, so that was fun to find her. And then I know she also started reading again in the fall, and so she's also trying to make reading a habit back in her life, and she's having a lot of fun doing it. So welcome, Ellen, to Booktube. In the 100 to 200 subscriber category, I want to first start with Cheryl from CandlewickLibrary. And Cheryl, I think I first like met her in a Discord group or a read along. I'm forgetting which one. Possibly the August one we did. What was it? I don't know. I just had a full work day and my brain's not working right now. My brain is kind of mush. So I apologize, but I know that I met Cheryl through a read along. And she is a homeschool mom. I've seen her read a lot of different genres as well. She reads pretty diversely, so definitely go check out Cheryl's channel. Next up, I want to shout out sintaspeaks. And she is just charming. The minute you start watching her videos, you will love her. She actually seems to have a lot of K-pop videos, and she's talked a lot about music on her channel. And I think just recently she's started to make book content and booktube content. But I know many of you are K-pop fans. I've actually been listening to a lot of K-pop in the past month for the We Love Jenny readathon, and actually finding some favorites, finding some things I like. So I wouldn't call myself a K-pop girly exactly, but I am finding some things that I like in K-pop. But if you are a K-pop fan, definitely check out sintaspeaks. She's also done a video recently about murder mystery novels that you can check out. And then also in this category is Henka. Henka reads books, and I instantly clicked with because he cites a lot of my favorite fantasy series as his favorites too. He's a Stormlight Archives fan, and he looks like he's going to make a lot of fantasy content, which I am reading a lot of fantasy books right now. I could also just tell from the videos that I watched of Henka that he's funny. He has this great sense of humor, and I just found him to be really entertaining. Okay, the next booktubers are in the 300 to 400 subscriber count category. And so first I want to shout out Farah Yusuf, who lives in Denmark, and she also has a fantasy bug. She's been bitten by the fantasy bug. I also noticed a lot of fantasy romance on her channel, and so that's Farah Yusuf. And I also don't know a lot of booktubers from Denmark. I can only really think of one other person that I've seen on Booktube from Denmark. And I'm sure there's more, but just I haven't come across them. And so definitely go give Farah some love. Next up, I want to talk about two booktubers kind of together. So this is ToniReads and also Denise from dbooknerd. And they are actually sisters. And I think Denise had a channel first, and then Toni started a channel. But they both seem to read a lot of thrillers. I think Denise might read a little bit more like romance as well. But I think they're fun because they're sisters and they've gotten into booktube together. And so definitely go check both of them out. They're both wonderful. Next, I want to talk about my friend Anne at insearchofwonder. I just have a lot in common with Anne just right off the bat. She's a teacher, she's a mama, and she's also a musician. She's talked about playing at church. I think she plays piano, and she's shared some like sheet music and stuff on her channel too. And so yeah, those are like the three main things that I share in common with Anne, which are like my major pieces of my personality. So I just feel like Anne is a kindred spirit, and I love her videos. She's also doing a lot of like vlogging and weekly vlogs, so I've been enjoying watching her vlogs, and pretty snowy backgrounds too. Looks like she gets snow where she lives. So I want to make sure you know about Anne and go subscribe to her. Next, I want to talk about Christina from Knitting Books, etc. And Christina, I have also known on Booktube for a while now, and we've participated in various read-alongs and have had a lot of crossover. And recently she started reading the Stormlight Archives, which I was very excited about. And she is really enjoying it, and she loved Way of Kings. I know she's reading Words of Radiance right now. And Christina, I just love. She also shares crafts as well. So she does share the crafts that she's working on, which you could probably gather from her channel title as well. She reads really diversely. I think Christina is just a really adventurous reader. Like she will try anything, and I love that about her. She reads very widely. And so yes, go and subscribe to Christina if you are not already. And I didn't write this down very well, but I think these next booktubers might be in the next category of subscribers, the 400 to 500. I could be wrong. I don't know. It doesn't matter. These are people that are 300 to 500. We'll just put them in one category at the moment. But next, I want to talk about Book in Hand. And this is Peyton. She's one that I just found the other day. And she is reading a lot of historical fiction, fantasy, and lit fic as well. And so I feel like that's a a wide range of things. I also have been reading more historical fiction, and I especially have learned that I like historical fiction if it is blended with lit fic. And so I'm definitely going to be checking out Peyton for some recommendations. Next up, I want to mention raigansreality, and she also has an interest in beauty and shopping hauls, and it looks like she had started her channel doing some of those. She has some fun shopping vlogs where she goes to like Hobby Lobby and Target and things. So if you enjoy that content as well, you can check out her backlog. And she's recently started to kind of pivot and be a booktube channel as well. And she described reading as free therapy, which I completely agree with. And the thing you'll notice about Reagan right away is how much fun she is. She just has this vibrant, fun personality that will draw you in instantly. So definitely go check out Reagan. Next, I want to talk about my friend Summer. Summer I've known for a long time. Her channel is SummersMovingBookshelf, and that is a direct correlation to Howl's Moving Castle. That's one of her favorite books, and I think she's read it like a zillion times. I love Summer, and I just think she should have a lot more subscribers. She makes me laugh. She's so funny. She fangirls really hard. When she gets into something, she gets really into it, and I love that about her. She recently did some videos about Harry Potter. I think she was reading them for the first time, and I so enjoyed watching her experience with that and her reactions to things. She's also a musical theater enthusiast, and she's done some videos where she analyzes some things like Anastasia and some like classic musical theater and like animated Disney crossover. She's done a few things like that, and she plays piano on her channel sometimes. I just love Summer. I think she's the coolest. So definitely go subscribe to Summer. Next up, we have ReadBecca, and she reads a ton. She reads like 100 to 150 books per year, which is way more than I read. That's amazing. She reads a lot of sci-fi and fantasy, but also other things as well. And she is also an animal lover, and she fosters animals. She's mentioned that she has fostered some cats. Becca is a huge reader, so you will definitely find some recommendations on her channel. This next booktuber is in the 500 to 600 subscriber category, and this is Star's Book Reviews. And she reads a lot of fantasy and romance. And then also, I noticed her having some Avatar content, which I love. Avatar so much. So she's an Avatar fan. She makes me want to go back and rewatch Avatar from the beginning. I love Avatar. Star is a newer channel to me, so I need to watch more of her content, but go give Star some love. The next category is the 600 to 700 subscriber count, and I'm gonna start with Amy of Hearthridge. And Amy, I think I first met Amy or heard of Amy's channel in Kate Howe's Patreon. I'm pretty sure that's how I found Amy. And she is such an eclectic reader. I also love that she's an avid library user. She recently posted a video about her library haul and just that she couldn't decide. She had this huge stack of books from the library. And I just love that she loves using the library. She's also big into classics. She also has a video that I really like about Jane Austen retelling. So she's a big Jane Austen fan and has read a lot of retellings as well. You'll also notice when you watch Amy's videos that she just exudes warmth, and she just seems like a fun person to know. Next up, I want to shout out Katja from PageTurnersWithKatja. I've known Katja for a little while too, and at this point I can't remember from what. It was from a read-along, I feel like. Maybe one from like Codex Cantina or something. But Katja is big brain energy. She's so smart. I feel like whenever I watch Katja's videos, I am always like enlightened, or she just approaches things really thoughtfully. She is very analytical as a reader, and she approaches books with a very analytical eye, and I just think she's really brilliant. She also has this calm way of talking, just really calm demeanor, and I could honestly listen to her talk all day. And the last booktuber in this category that I want to mention is Hannah from Hellobookworm. Believe it or not, Hannah only has like 3 videos on her channel or something. She has not made a lot, but they're amazing quality. She is incredible. She recently posted a video about the best books she read in 2023, and she included a lot of my favorites as well. Specifically, I remember her loving All the Light We Cannot See. I too just adore that book. So I was like, yes, it's so good. So yeah, Hannah is amazing. Definitely go subscribe to Hannah if you don't know her already. The next booktubers are in the 700 to 800 category, and I want to start with AnEruditeAdventure. And this channel is actually 2 booktubers, Tony and Kate. And Tony is a violinist, which is awesome, and I think Kate is also a musician, I think maybe a pianist. And Kate is also an aspiring writer, and Tony is an aspiring actor. They do a lot of individual book reviews, and I've seen a lot of fantasy, but not just fantasy. They've done a lot of other things too, but they've really started to kind of hone in on some short content. What are those called? Shorts? Obviously I don't make them. Shorts content. They have some shorts as well, and a lot of individual book reviews, but they do wrap-ups and stuff too. But they're just really lovely and nice people, and I feel like I've also known them for a while on Booktube. I can't remember how I found them, but in any case, if you don't know them, definitely go subscribe. Next up, I want to talk about my friend Faith at Faith in Books. And I know Faith from various read-alongs, but most specifically from the Lent and Advent read-alongs that I'm a co-host of. And I just think Faith always has really interesting things to say. She just brings a lot of like background and a wealth of knowledge. Faith also really looks at her literature she's reading through a Christian lens, and I just think she has a lot of wonderful insights, and she reads a lot of classics as well. She's definitely a classics fan. Next up, we have Hannah from savagereads. I think Hannah's one of the people that I've found on Booktube who reads the most widely. I've seen her do historical fiction and nonfiction, also a mix of like current buzzy books and backlist books. I feel like she really balances both very well, and she's just very articulate when she does her book reviews. So go follow Hannah. Are we in the next category? I think we are, yeah. So the 800 to 900 category. I want to start with David Wiley, who is someone who I've known for a little bit on Booktube now. I think from a read along, but again, I can't remember which one. Possibly, I don't know. I don't remember. But David is great. He also is someone who has big brain energy. I'm sorry for keep using that term, but it's just true. David is super smart. He reads also super diversely. He's been talking about he's actually been talking a lot about Shakespeare, and he's a Shakespeare fan. He also loves just like ancient antiquity works. He likes everything from like antiquity to comic books. He also talks about comics and sci-fi. Big sci-fi fan for sure. You can definitely get sci-fi recommendations from him. I also really love his Bookshelf Essentials, which is a series he's kind of started about what he thinks is a bookshelf staple that every bookworm should have in their library. And that's been really fun to watch that series. Next up, I want to talk about ChrissiesPurpleLibrary. And I recently found her through the read-along that she did with Dia and Tiffany. And we read Joy in Christ's Presence by C.H. Spurgeon. And I read along. I read along with them, but I finished it like way later. I only finished it in January, but it was so good. And I did go back and watch the conversations between the 3 ladies. And now I also have been watching Chrissy's videos, and she is so funny. It's just such a fun presence and so sweet. It's very entertaining videos. I can tell she puts a lot of effort into editing as well. They're just well edited and well put together. She's been trying out a lot of fantasy lately. She talked about reading Lord of the Rings for the first time, and also I think maybe Wheel of Time or Stormlight, I forget which one, but she's jumping into all kinds of fantasy that I love. And so definitely you will want to be subscribed to Chrissy because she is so much fun. Next up, we are in the 900 to 1000 category. And first I'm going to talk about Suey's Book Banter. Sue has the best in-home library of all time. She has just like wall-to-wall books in this room. She's like kept every book. She is just like such a book collector. And I loved the videos that she did where she took you through her home library. Those were really fun. She also was a book blogger for a long time. So she has a lot of stories as well of being a blogger versus being a booktuber. And she has some stories about like meeting authors as she was a book blogger and like going to different author signings in her area. And I think it's really cool that she's involved in all that. She's also a K-pop fan, so there you go. My K-pop girlies. There you go. There's another person to follow. And sometimes her daughter helps her film, and I always enjoy those interactions because they're just really fun. And you can tell that her daughter and her have a good relationship. It's just fun to watch them both and hear them both talking. And yeah, Sue is a wonderful person to follow. And also very funny, a funny person as well. And I really like her channel. Also in this category, I'm going to mention Jen's Reading Life. And she started on Bookstagram. And she decided to go to Booktube after just being inspired by seeing other Booktube channels. And she started Booktube at age 50. And so she talks about how that's something that she feels like is a little different for her because there's not as many people in that age bracket on Booktube. And so she brings a whole reading life with her, many years of reading. And so she's just read a lot of things and has a lot of insight to things. She also was an English major. And so she is also able to look at things through a critical lens. She has that background, that academic background. So, which I always really enjoy people who have that. And so, yeah, definitely follow Jen if you're not familiar with her already. This next category is the 1000 plus. So anyone who's a little bit of a bigger channel and who has hit that 1000 subscriber mark. And first, I'm going to start with one who's pretty new to me. And this is Lindsey from BFCG. And I found her through her tier ranking, her Kindle Unlimited reads from 2023. And what struck me about that video was her amazing work she made her own tier ranking that was like all like cute pastel colors because she was like, I don't like the black one. And I just thought that was so great. So she obviously is like tech savvy and can like make her own stuff like that. But that video was just really fun, and she is also just really funny. I think whenever people have a good sense of humor, I love those booktubers. So I love Lindsey. Next up, I want to shout out Stephanie from msrichardsreads, and I have known Stephanie for a long time as well on Booktube. We've had a lot of just read-alongs and stuff we've been a part of. She reads so much. She's loving the classics and fantasy, so we have a lot of crossover from our channels. We read a lot of the same things. She tackles huge tomes. Like, I feel like Stephanie is not afraid. If it's a big brick, she will read it. She will tackle it. And not only that, Stephanie will read like multiple big tomes at the same time, which I'm just like, wow. She also does a lot of great individual book reviews on her channel, in addition to wrap-ups and things like that. Next, I want to shout out my friend Alex from AlexBlackReads. I've known Alex for a long time as well. She was maybe one of the first people who I started talking to on my channel, and we did a buddy read together like way back in the day. Alex reads a lot of different types of books than I do, but I always enjoy hearing her talk about them. She's very well thought out, very articulate. She's also currently doing a read along of Dorian Gray, so if you want to read that, definitely go participate in that and give Alex a subscribe. And finally, I want to talk about LitVibesWithFive. And even though he just started, and I think he only has like 3 or 4 videos or something, but his channel is blowing up, and it's not hard to see why. He comes to Booktube with a fresh perspective, and he is a Black man, and we just don't have many Black men on Booktube. And so I'm just so glad he's made a channel and that he's joined this community, because I think it's a voice that needs to be here, obviously. And so I'm just super excited about him being on Booktube, and that he's having fun with it, and that he's getting back into reading and sharing his reading with us. So if you have not seen his channel yet, go subscribe because he's a lot of fun. Okay, that is the end of my Booktube shoutouts. I knew it was going to be a long video, but good thing I had coffee. I might need another cup now. But thank you so much for watching, and go check out everyone's channels who I mentioned. Keep reading great books. Have a great rest of your day. And until next time, bye-bye.